comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Darling, it feels like years since it's been here.
Hello, happy Tuesday. We're hoping you're having a great day. We wanted to mention that we know some folks are no longer getting notifications for when we go live. If you are not and you would still like to receive those, please go to our Facebook page and on the far right, select the 3 dots or the ellipses and change the notification settings to receive all notifications. So that way you'll get notifications for when we do go live. Typically Tuesdays are around 2-ish. Sometimes we might be a little late. First, we're going to hear up from Ashley. She is going to share some upcoming events with us. Hey, Ashley.
Hi, Jessica.
You ready for some fun stuff that we have coming up?
Sure am. Excited to share.
Great.
All right, everyone. We have 2 events next week. First is the beginning of our WRAP class. WRAP stands for Wellness Recovery Action Plan. During this class, you learn to identify your wellness tools that are going to be most beneficial for you. It'll help you notice when things seem to be off balance and coordinate ways to get back to feeling your best. During the class, we also discuss crisis planning and advanced directives. The class starts next Tuesday, August 11th, and runs through August 25th and runs from 2 to 4 p.m. Next week is also our last webinar in our mental health webinar series. It's going to be Thursday, August 13th from 12 to 1:30 p.m. The topic is going to be mental health services during COVID, and we're going to be joined by some of our local mental health providers to discuss how they've continued to make services available during the pandemic. All registration links will be in the comments on this video, as well as featured on our website and social media. For the latest updates on any of our programs, make sure to follow us on all of our social media sites, as well as visit our website. Those are the updates for this week.
Thanks, Ashley. And as Ashley said, we can't say it enough. Follow us on social media and check out our website. So next up, we have some local news coming to you. Today, we have Shari sharing some fun local stuff about what we've been up to.
Hello.
Take it away.
NAMI County has offered classes and support groups since 1987. All of our classes are free of charge and provide support for those living with a mental illness and their families. Our donations help offset the cost to these classes. In appreciation to all those who have supported NAMI, we have utilized some of the memorial funds to purchase a bench located at the Wood County Historical Society for individuals to grieve their loved ones who has passed away from a mental illness. We will be having a formal dedication, but at this time, it will need to be postponed to a later date. Thank you to everyone for your continued support.
I'm really excited for that dedication, aren't you? We've been working on doing something that is meaningful and permanent with some of those memorial funds. So yes, we're planning that dedication soon. Thanks for sharing, Shari. In our Did You Know segment, Courtney has some really interesting stuff for us today. Don't you, Courtney?
Oh yeah, I do, always.
So you excited to share with us?
As always, yes.
Take it away.
All right. So far we've talked about awareness dates in our Did You Know segment, but today we'll be learning about why the language we use to describe mental health matters. So for generations, we have heard and maybe even used terms like psycho, crazy, or loony, and found these to be completely acceptable. Many times we may not think about these words because they have been deemed okay, and that actions speak louder than words. So meaning how you treat an individual is more important than the language that is used. However, the words that we use can be discriminatory and hurtful, and can even be a barrier to those who want to seek help. With this in mind, it's important to be thoughtful in the words that we are using to describe mental health. Some words have become more outdated and stigmatizing, but it's important to be conscious of other words that we use that are considered stigmatizing. For example, when discussing suicide, often we use the term that someone has committed suicide. The word committed originates when suicide was considered a crime or a sin. Suicide is neither of these. We now use died by suicide instead of this because it has a more thoughtful way of explaining it. Additionally, we have tendency to describe common experiences in the context of mental illness. For example, someone who is organized as OCD or someone with a sudden mood change as bipolar. We may also have tendency to use words such as schizophrenic, which implies that the diagnosis defines them. Describing someone as experiencing mental illness can help to allow for other parts of their identity to still exist. This provides a more holistic and accurate view of the experience of these individuals. It's important to keep in mind that individuals living with long-term mental health conditions and are in the recovery process from what could be a debilitating condition. As a society, we have come very far in public mental health, in terms of attitudes around it and efforts to tackle stigma, but we are not quite there yet. It's important that we as a whole strive to make positive and conscious changes in the language we use when it comes to mental health and conditions. I'll also post in the comments an article that kind of explains a little bit more, as well as some information on brain as well. So look for that. And back to you, Jessica.
Thank you for taking the time to explain information about the words we use. Person first language has been a high priority of NAMI's.
Yes.
Thank you, Courtney. In our self-care corner, Bree is going to give us some great self-care tips. Do you have some fun tips for us today?
Of course. I'm really excited to share.
Great.
So today I want to talk a little bit about boundaries and how we set them up for ourselves and the people that we love. Boundaries are the rules and expectations that we set in our relationships, whether they're romantic, familial, or friendships. These boundaries help both parties understand how to behave, what behavior is acceptable, and what doesn't positively benefit your mental health. If you feel unsafe or on edge with someone, there's probably a lack of clear and consistent boundaries. Without these boundaries, we run the risk of losing ourselves, meaning that we don't know how we're feeling, what we're interested in, and we lose sight of what we want. We let other people make decisions for us sometimes, and sometimes when we give and give without receiving things in return, we wear ourselves a little bit too thin. It's important to note that you are allowed to skip that family function or the group hangout in order to prioritize your mental health. Of course, social interaction is wonderful and is a huge part of our support systems, but sometimes it's okay to say no on that one instance. If you're feeling tired and you need to miss out on something to prioritize your sleep, that is okay. It's important to set that boundary for yourself. Boundaries are a form of self-care. When you set boundaries, you're taking care of yourself. You are recognizing what you need and you're asking for it, which can benefit you in the long run. Hope this was helpful.
Thanks, Bree. Boundaries are really vital in everyone's life, right?
Absolutely.
So, as we said a few times, don't forget to follow us on social media to hear about our upcoming events. Thank you for watching today's Tuesday at 2. We hope you have a great Tuesday from the NAMI County team. Until next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.